Good morning, ladies. Good morning. Let me start Gladys at the beginning here. I love having this at the beginning of the Coffee Talk, the song. Fell in love with it. Been listening to it all week since last Sunday. Good morning. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, Angela. I'm still jamming to Gladys. Fell in love with it last week. Been playing it all week. Hey, did you ladies get a chance to play it? Carol and Jennifer, good morning. I love this song though. So I decided for now that I'll play it for a few minutes when I come on Sunday morning. Good to see you, ladies. Good to see you. Good morning. Hope your day is going well so far. All is still early. Happy Sunday. Coming up to the end of November. What's going on with you this morning? How you feeling, ladies? Good morning, good morning. Love this song. Promise me you'll give faith. What's in your cup, ladies? Got my coffee. To sit it out or dance. I hope you dance. Rock it just a little bit. I hope you dance. Trying to turn it up. I'm turning it down. There you go. I never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might be taking chances, but then love this. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth the making. Don't get some help in home. Andrew's got her coffee. Ooh. What are you drinking, ladies? In your cup.
What you say we just ignore this time?
Give the heavens above more than just. So what's going on, ladies? Happy Sunday morning. What's going on with you this morning? I guess it's official. Sheila, good morning. I guess it's official. They lit the tree in Chicago on Friday, and they had the big pre-Thanksgiving parade yesterday on Michigan Avenue. So I guess it's official. The holiday season is upon us. So we have, about 4 or 5 weeks of holiday season? So how you ladies doing this morning? Good morning. I discovered something yesterday. Now, maybe you already knew this, but I'm going to wait a few minutes to share it with you. But I got so excited. I was like this little kid because I've been thinking about the theme for next year. Because remember, this year was get comfortable being uncomfortable, stepping outside of your comfort zone, because if you want to make changes in your life, then you have to do something different, because if you do what you've always done, you will get what you've always gotten. So that was the theme this year, really around growth. And for me, it's been a tremendous year in terms of growth. Learned some things, and I'm going to just share it with you real quickly while I wait for other ladies to come on. Then I want to tell you what I discovered yesterday. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I was like this little kid. For me, I matured and I grew this year. Had to ask for help and receive help. And I learned that if you be still and let God work in your life, that it's amazing what he can do. And also, when you look at your life in terms of what you can do, you're putting limits on yourself, because as a human being, we can only accomplish so much. Because there are limits in terms of what we can do, but when you focus on God, then you can accomplish anything, because through God, all things are possible. So it's been a tremendous growth year for me. So as you think about your year, as we approach the end of the year, think about what you've learned this year about yourself. Again, think about your own growth and what have you learned this year, because I'd be interested in hearing it. And it's just a good feeling sometimes when you realize that you've grown, just makes you feel good, because life is a process of evolution. And it just makes you feel good that you're still growing, you're still evolving, and you're still learning. So just think about that this week. But here's what I want to share with you. Good morning, ladies that just joined. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for getting up on Sunday mornings and joining me. You know I do not take your time for granted. But just to recap really quickly, think about your own growth this year and list some of the things that you've learned this year or how you've grown. And it just makes you feel good because you know you're continuing to grow and evolve. But yesterday, I've been thinking about our theme for next year, and I wanted to focus on leap, something about leap. And I realized next year's leap year. Did any of you ladies know that next year, 2020, is leap year? I was so excited because I've been thinking about what's our theme for next year, and I want it to be something about leap. And I've been getting feedback from some folks like 2020 vision, your vision 2020, I can see clearly now, or focus clearly on your vision or something like that. But 2020 is leap year. So I got so excited. I was like, ooh, the universe I'm aligned with the universe in terms of my thoughts. How many of you knew that already? If you could just say, yes, I knew, or no, I didn't know. But 2020 is leap year. So in terms of where hopefully we're going next year, leap into 2020, I was just like, wow, that just blew my mind because I wasn't even thinking about leap year, but to know that next year is leap year. Because one of the things I'm going to talk about at the end is how we can approach next year. And I want us to start thinking about it in December. This exercise I want us to do in December and do it together as a group. So just know that next year is leap year. And whatever we do next year, it's going to be, the theme is going to be around leap. So maybe it's just leap into 2020 because it's leap year. So we'll see. But good morning, ladies. Welcome to Coffee Talk. I guess I've rambled enough. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I do not take your time for granted. I appreciate you being here with me this morning. Happy Sunday. Last week, we talked about joy stealers. We talked about envy and jealousy and how that can steal our joy, especially if we are comparing our lives to others. Today, I want to talk about finding peace from within and letting go of worry and fear. Because worry and fear are enemies and will steal our peace from within. So today, I want to spend just a few minutes talking about finding peace from within, letting go of worry and fear. And worrying especially, with fear also, they're human conditions. I mean, we all worry sometimes and we all have fear. So, I mean, and because we're just human, worry and fear will show up, but it's how we deal with it. So, and whether or not, how we decide that it's going to impact us, our lives, whether we are going to allow worry and fear to control our heart. So think about that. Worry and fear can steal your peace from within. And when we worry, we lose our strength. And when we're afraid, we lose our courage. So, and again, as human beings, we all have fear and we all worry. Worry comes because we feel that we're not in control. And when we're not in control, we worry about the outcome. But what happens with worry, though, we often think of worst case scenarios. Because if we were thinking of all positive things, then we wouldn't be worrying, right? We think of all the negatives that could possibly happen. And the more we worry, the more helpless we become. We start to think of doom and gloom. So think about that. And we all worry. So when you worry will steal your joy, and fear will steal your freedom. So just give that some thought for a moment. When you allow yourself to worry and fear, you're giving up your freedom and your joy. And there are certain things that you can't control. And that's why we worry. But here's the thing. If you focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot control, then you wouldn't have to worry. So think about that. When you worry, you're thinking of worst case scenarios, the what ifs. You know, we worry about our families, we worry about our own lives, we worry about our friends. And some of us just worry all the time. We're just worriers. You know, we just worry all the time. But think of it this way, you're stealing your peace from within because you're allowing that worry. You're putting that on your heart. And as a result, your heart is troubled. So let's think about how we can combat fear and worry. Well, first of all, the first thing you could do, especially with worry, is to shift your thoughts. Because when you're worrying, you're thinking negative thoughts, worst case scenario. So shift your thoughts. Especially those things that you can't control. And meditate on what you're worrying about. And those things, the scenarios that are within your control, you do what you need to do. If it's in your control, then you can make decisions and choices. But if it's not in your control, let it go. There's nothing you can do. But focus on being grateful for what you do have in your life. So the way you can shift your thoughts from negative thoughts to, because you're thinking worst case scenarios, focus on being grateful and thankful for what you do have in your life. And if you take that approach and meditate on the things that you can control and being grateful and thankful for what you do have in your life, you will notice the weight starts to shift off of your shoulders. Because when you worry all the time, you're weighing yourself down. And if you change your thoughts to positive ones and being grateful and focusing on that, what is real in your life, because you have so much to celebrate. Even if you're going through something, you can still find things in your life to celebrate and focus on that. Allow that to be the driving force and not the worry and not the negatives. And use your faith too. Use your faith. And I say this all the time, the more you use your faith, the stronger you will become. Because if it's out of your control, there's nothing you can do anyway. And use your past experiences. I call it your education. Think about times in the past that you worried. And did it present a different outcome just because you worried? Think about all the times, you know, your finances, you were worried about your finances, you were worried about health or whatever it may be. Think about whether or not worrying changed the outcome. And look at you now. That's why I said use your past experiences, use your education, because your education is your past experiences. right? So use your past experience and you think about the things that you worried about. Did it change the outcome? And look at you now, you're okay. You were going through something, you made it through. And as a result, you've learned some things. You're stronger as a result of it. And use your faith and just trust things are going to work out okay. Because at the end of the day, they do. So even now, right now, if you're going through something, if you're worrying, can you control the possible outcome? If you can't, instead of worrying about it, shift your thoughts. Focus on being grateful and celebrate the goodness. Find the goodness and celebrate that and let the worry go. So each day you get up in the morning, get up ready to confront your fear and change. You're worrying about something, get up in the morning being grateful. Confront your fear and be grateful. So it's just kind of shifting. Your thoughts are shifting how you're looking at things in your life. But if you do that for a few days, again, notice how the weight will begin to lift. And here's the other thing, and I've said this all the time, you attract what you think about. So if you're worrying all the time, guess what you're attracting? Whatever it is you're worried about, that's what you're attracting. But if you shift your thoughts and you're grateful, then you are only going to attract more things in your life to be grateful for. And we fail to think about that sometimes because what we're doing really is just shifting our habits because we're used to thinking about the things that are negative. Because you have to be intentional and on purpose to shift your negative thoughts to positive ones, to shift that worst case scenario, because that's why we're worrying, because we have no control. And the fact that we have no control worries us because we don't know what the outcome will be. And that's where faith comes in. Trust. And trust that things will be okay. And you have to be intentional and deliberate to do that, especially if you're the type of person that worries all the time. Because now you're talking about shifting and changing your behavior. So every time you find yourself worrying and thinking something negative, shift the thought to something positive. And know that there are certain things that you can't control. But you can control how you respond. And know also, sometimes because we worry about other people, we can't control other people. So the things that you can control, that's what you focus on. The ones that you can't, you let it go. Don't allow worry and fear to steal your peace from within. You can control your decisions and your choices. Focus on that. And again, the things that you can't, you let go. And focus on what is, not what might be. You know what is. Be grateful. You have this, you have this, you have this. You celebrate. Be grateful. Don't think about what might be. There's an old saying, don't steal trouble from tomorrow or something like that. Because there are always going to be times when situations occur that you are not in control. And think about, if I worry, am I going to change the outcome? Simple. Is worrying going to change the outcome? And if it's not, then let it go. And focus on just being peaceful, finding that peace, being peaceful in your heart, not troubled. You don't want troubled hearts, but you want a peaceful heart. So anything when you meditate that's on your heart that's causing you stress, worry, or fear, then you need to explore it. So what do you think about fear and worry? Does this help a little bit? Are you one of these people that worry all the time and now you can think about it from a new perspective? My worrying is not going to change the outcome. Therefore, I'm not going to focus on trying to control it. I'm not going to focus on the negatives, worst case scenarios. I'm going to focus on what I know I have at hand and be grateful, thankful, and celebrate. Okay, let's see what kind of comments we got here. Excuse me. All right. Gianna says, a spirit of thankfulness. What a message. Any comments, ladies? What do you think? How many of you out there worry warts? Worry all the time. And then I read something. It says that, what did I read? I think it said you can have control or you can have trust, but you can't have both. So trust your faith. Okay. So that's coffee talk this morning, ladies. An attitude of gratitude. That's it. Don't let fear and worry steal your peace from within or steal your joy. Because again, fear will put limits on your freedom too. Okay, so a couple of things that I want to share with you really quickly. Last week, I think it was Toya wanted to share the message, and you can't share it because it's in the group. But I do have a YouTube channel. It's Eva M. Kennedy. So what I'm going to do from now on, every Sunday, I will download the video and put it on YouTube, and that way you can do whatever you want with it. So I will download this one this morning and put it in YouTube. You can go to my channel. Eventually, I'm going to put them all on there. Some of them are already there, some of them aren't, but eventually I'm going to go back and put them all on the YouTube channel. December 7th, I didn't put it out there yet, but that's still the date. Please keep that date in mind. I am going to have something, a limited number of people. I promise you it'll be out there this week. If you're interested in coming, we're going to do Coffee Talk on the road, and I'm going to do it in my place, so it'll be a limited number of people. So keep that date on the calendar. Last week, I talked about the end of the year is approaching. And what I'd ask you to do is to pick one or two things that you accomplished this year and write them down. Because what we tend to do at the end of the year, we end the year thinking about what we did not accomplish versus what we accomplished. And we take that same energy into the next year. For this year, what I would like for you to do is write down one or two things that you accomplished, because I want it to be shared in the group, and we'll have a special coffee talk one Sunday in December. We'll do blown out 30 minutes, although we end up being on 30 minutes anyway. But that's the energy that I want you to take into next year, knowing that you accomplished one or two things, whatever it may be, even if it's only one, and how did that make you feel? And that's the energy we want to go bring into 2020, not focusing on what we didn't do, because that's what we tend to do. We automatically go to the negatives, and then we start the year weighted down because we are already beating up on ourselves because we didn't accomplish what we really wanted to in 2019. So that's the energy we take into the next year. And this year, we're going to leap in 2020. And I like that because it's leap year, and I didn't even realize that. So, and I think that's it. The only other thing, ladies, Inspirations for the Soul. It's a great book for for you to have for yourself, because they're inspirational messages in here. What's powerful about the book is that there are questions in here for every inspirational message. Because remember, I pulled these messages from the group. But what's powerful about the book is there's a powerful question following each of the messages for you to focus on the person within. And it's one of these books you keep on your nightstand, you carry it in your purse. So it really will help you make decisions and choices that are aligned with what it is that you want to achieve. So it's a great book for yourself. It's also would be a great holiday gift. You may want to gift it and give it to another woman. It's the hard copy. I have the link when I post this video will be right there. You can go and you can order it. Now I'm going to tell you now, ladies, don't be waiting till the second or third week in December to order these books and thinking that I'm going to get them to you before Christmas. Don't procrastinate. Order your books now. Order one for yourself, one for your friend. Again, it's a powerful book because the questions are there to help you focus on the person within. I think that is it. Let me make sure that I don't have anything else or any other comments. I think that's it for Coffee Talks. So ladies, let's see. Sheila is listening while she's doing her run. Angela says, trust God. That's it. You know, and here's the thing, Angela, glad you said that. He's brought you this far. So just remember that when you start going down that road of gloom and doom and feeling helpless, remember he's brought you this far. So trust. And that's it. Trust your faith, trust God. So, and believe that things are going to be better. Believe, if you're worrying, that things are going to get better. And trust him and not your own, because with him, all things are possible. So ladies, that's Coffee Talk this morning. Thank you so much for joining me. You know I do not take your time for granted. Have a great week, and I will see you back here next Sunday. And remember, every time you find yourself thinking a negative thought, that's what you're putting out to the universe. Change the thought to a positive one. And watch, notice how better you will begin to feel. Have a great week. I can't talk. Have a great week, ladies. Loving blessings to you and your family. See you back here next Sunday. Bye.